You run. No, I won't leave you here. We can run together. Listen, if we run together, they will shoot us from behind. We both die. So, how's about you here? They will kill you. No, don't worry about me. I will hold them. I want you to promise me to survive, to take this message for our country.
Okay, I think we're ready now. I fixed it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream.
How dare you use Smiley Gavin on me like that?
Had to pick a good screenshot. Good high quality screenshot. Plus, since I'm not showing face cam today, I'm like, might as well get like a good visual so we can look at something. So, what's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going good.
I'm so tired.
I bet.
No, I'm sure we all tired. I know I'm tired. Being at the frickin' dentist all day. Hopefully next Wednesday I'll be good to at least record.
I'm sorry, I'm so quiet. I'm like trying to tweet and also trying to pay attention.
No, it's all good, everybody. So hello, everyone in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Please share the link to the stream so other people can join in with us today. We've got lots to talk about.
Oh, we have so much. I took so many screenshots.
I did too.
Like, no, like when we were like going over here, I was like trying to see, like I was like posting on Tumblr and stuff, and my husband kind of like leans over and he's like, "Why do you have so many screenshots of this man?" And I'm like, "Because reasons. I have a problem, okay?"
It's a good problem.
Like, you were just getting food and he was just like, "Why is there so many pictures of Gavin?" And I'm like, "I have a problem. I really do."
Oh man, God, I hope if I ever get a boyfriend, whenever that happens, I hope he doesn't look through my phone and is like, why do you have so many anime boys on your phone?
Funny
Because-
story. My mom actually did this to me like a few weeks ago.
I remember you telling me this.
Yep. So basically, we were all sitting down eating. I think we got Wingstop that day, and my
I love
brother's
Wingstop.
girlfriend was like dyeing my hair blonde. This is back when I had the blonde hair recently. But basically, I showed her a picture of like my daughter Isabella, and then she's like, I want to look at and see what you have on your phone and like pictures, and I was like, oh no. And she looked through the whole entire thing, and she was like, you know, I shouldn't be surprised, but she's like, what's up with all these anime boys? And then she ended up showing my brother's girlfriend across. She's like, look at all these boys that she has on her phone. I was like, please stop. Don't call me out like this.
That's why I never show anyone my phone, because I'm like, I have so many screenshots of like dumb shit, like screenshots from like episodes, or like when I screenshot stuff in games, or I just have a lot of weird memes that I save.
Me too. I guess she thought I was gonna have like pictures of my daughter and like my dogs, but she was sadly mistaken.
I mean, I do have pictures of my dog. I haven't taken too many pictures of her recently, except the one I posted like today, but it's because I can only take a picture of her so many times, like just sitting on the bed with the same face. Like I need to like post videos of her because she does weird stuff. But I don't really take selfies all too much or often because I never look like selfie ready.
Me neither.
So it's like I always try to take a selfie when I like actually look good.
Me too, man. I feel you.
Which is why there's no face cam today, because I did not put makeup on today because I was at the dentist. and but my mouth is gonna hurt for a while. But to fix things, so it's all good. Getting it done. Friday I have a root canal, so that's great.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's correcting something that needs to be corrected, so it's all that matters. No more pain.
That is true.
Yes, you know, getting it paid for and everything. Getting everything done. I have the little plan out here what we're gonna do. Oh my god. It's a lot. Take care of your teeth, guys. Brush every day.
Floss every day.
And floss every day as well. I'm do as I say, not as I do. Clearly, I'm having trouble. Anyway, enough about my problems. Yeah, today we're here to talk about the new episode of Mr. Love, Queen's Choice. The new episode, episode 5, as you can see the title on the screen, and Amber Wind. And you can see who we talking about today. This is our Gavin-centered episode. Gavin Senpai. My god, she says Gavin Senpai a lot in this episode.
I can't get over that. I can't get over that she calls him senpai. Like, it freaks me out. Every time I hear it, I'm just like, please stop calling him that.
Yeah, it's
Please.
kind of weird. Hey, at least at the end of the episode, he was like, you don't have to call me that anymore. Just call me my name. I was like, thank God.
Which I thought was kind of cute. Like, give this awkward person a chance, please. I beg you. I'll just give him a chance.
I'm just happy I don't have to see Gavin Senpai in the subtitles anymore. If they're gonna make a dub, how are they gonna translate that part? Or they'd probably just change the entire line. I don't know.
They might change the entire line. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Funny enough is when I was going through the story, she does call him like he's my senior Gavin. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's because nobody says that here. Like, you wouldn't just call your senior in high school, like someone older than you, like senior. You just call them their name.
Well, yeah, we have to rethink.
Just
So
say like, there's your upperclassman.
yeah, but they wouldn't say that in technically. So what is it? Technically, it's a Chinese game, so they followed that
Yeah.
culture. So yeah, for them, it's senior. For like upperclassmen, they don't refer and like in Japan where it's just like, oh, you're upperclassmen and stuff like that, or like over here to them it's their seniors. So yeah, she would technically call them that. I watch a lot of dramas that are not in English. That's how I know these things.
It's
I
okay.
do too. I mean, you know, in K-dramas, you got Sombe. My god, she says that a lot in Boys Over Flowers.
Yeah, she does.
Sombe! So I'm sure she calls him Sombe in the Korean dub.
Yeah, she probably does.
Here it's just your name, Gavin. You just still call him Gavin. Gav? No, that's terrible. Don't call him that. I don't think he would appreciate a nickname like that.
Unless you
don't-
want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you want to actually die. He'll kill you with his wind powers. So, I guess we're good to go in terms of waiting for people to come in. People can just come in and we'll continue our conversation as normal. But people in the comments, please feel free to, or people in the chat rather, feel free to, say stuff as we discuss. I'll try to get through all the comments or respond to all of them. If not, I'm sorry. Sometimes the comments come in pretty fast.
It's okay.
And don't forget to share the link to our stream so more people can join in.
I'm gonna pin my tweet to my profile that way. If you guys don't see this now, you will at least see it later.
Yes. I want to retweet your tweet, BT dubs. Does anyone else still say BT dubs? I feel like my brother and I are the only people who say BT dubs.
I feel like the English language just recycles so many things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never heard anybody use that. But then again, I'm like weird.
Never?
Maybe in movies, but that's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean
probably.
my brother and I are like raised on film, so
Mm.
we just quote everything that we know. Okay, yes, let's see. This episode was very touching and made me cry, especially Gavin's backstory. I think that's something we can definitely talk about with you guys today, because I, been getting messages.
I'm sorry.
No, that
I know it's all good. Go ahead and discuss. Feel free to just go at it.
yeah, let's open that up. So one of the things in the game, like right off the bat, we understand that Gavin had a very hard family life, because he kind of alludes to the fact that his father never really saw much in him, because at the time when he was very young, this is before like the incident on the roof, he didn't have an evolve, and his father was just like a real dick about it. And for the very first time, we're actually seeing, well, for the first time for us, is we're actually seeing how it was like for him as a child. And that did things to me, because I'm like, I always kind of figured that him and his dad just like they don't like each other, like right off the bat. And now we kind of get a glimpse that very very young he was kind of defending his mom, who couldn't defend herself or had no way to defend herself. I'm like, what little kid has to go through that? And like that just broke me. I was like, oh my god, he's so young. I can't imagine what him and his little brother were going through if his dad was like that to their mother.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine, especially since his family is technically a military family. Because I think it's pointed out that his dad works with or at least it's assumed by many of the game, but it's hinted at. I think his father works with the opposite of the STF.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those things, and like I'm pretty sure because it's in the uniform too. Like, Gavin will wear that uniform later in life, but that's for like different reasons. But yeah, just his home life hit me different. I was like, oh my god, man.
I was not expecting to see a tiny little Gavin.
I know, I wasn't either, and I was like, no, this little cinnamon roll.
Just had his little arms spread out in front of his mom to protect her from the dad. And I'm like,
I know, that was really, it was cute, but also like, damn, really, that hit deep.
That hit, man. I'm telling you, like, he's so young and he's so determined to protect his mom, and I'm like, ah. And for those of you who don't know, like, his mom is his favorite person. Like, he talks about her ever so often, but when he does talk about her, like, he's just so, like, oh, my mom was great, and this, that, and the other, and I'm just like, oh, you loved your mom.
especially with like the newest birthday card in the Chinese server.
Yes, I actually read that, and I'm like, why you do this to me, game? Don't give me feelings.
I know. And then it just made me think of the rumors and secrets too. where he talks about his brother. And I'm like,
Oh.
stop. So a lot of feels were like hitting me because I was just remembering all the stuff that we got in the game recently, and I'm just like, stop. This is too much pain. But it's okay. He made it out. It made the best out of a crappy situation.
Yes, he did. A whole bunch of Gavin fans were like kind of like talking to me today, and you know, they said something about Gavin that kind of made me like. This is on Twitter, and I agreed wholeheartedly. There's like I don't know if you saw this, but it was someone wrote why Gavin was kind of one of the better. Like I wouldn't say he's like the best option. It's more like he's one of the more legitimate ones. Is the fact that he as a person, like he defines, like he kind of breaks out of the trope of I'm a broken person that needs to, I need you to fix me. He doesn't follow that because he went out of his way to fix himself.
Yeah.
And like he was like, I see how, like, because he had a reason to want to fix himself, and he did. Like he didn't need help from any. Like he's not entirely, like, even with the new one, his birthday one about you know, he's kind of thinking back on the person he used to be. Like even then, he's like, I'm, even to himself, he's like, I'm not entirely a fixed person. Like I know I still have ways to go and letting go of certain things in my past, but I'm fixing myself. I want to be better because I want to make a future with somebody, and I need to be a better version of myself. And he went out of his way to do it. And I'm just like, and then when I seen this episode and like everything I've known about him so far, I'm just like, he's come such a long way to having, like, you know what I mean? Now we know, like, an abusive household, he wasn't really seen as much from his father, and later he would lose his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can't imagine the rest of his environment. And of course, school, it was like different things for him, and he grew as a person, and having the MC back in his life made him want more, and he did, and he's the person we know now. And I like he's my all-time favorite character. Like this just cemented that for me. Like seeing how he was as a little kid is like, yep, you grew up very well, and you did it on your own, not because you believed yourself to be wanting to fix it. It's more like, no, I'm going to, and here's why, and I don't need anyone else to show me how but myself.
He just wants to protect the people that he loves at the end of the day.
Yep, at the end of the day, that's all he wants. He just wants a peaceful life, and he wants to protect those that he cares about because now he has the power to do so. That's always been Gavin's way.
Yep. Our sweet baby boy, man. I don't know how he can get any better.
Right? Like, I don't know how. Like, can you tell how much I love him? Like, jeez.
Yes.
Definitely can tell.
Like this
But
whole
that's a good thing.
episode, this whole episode was gold, dude. I was cracking up in the first half, mainly because, like, so we open up and of course we get that little scene with like the ginkgo leaves and, you know, the high school thing. What got me, I was laughing so hard, and my daughter was looking at me like, "Mom, why?" Like, how the MC's calling and she accidentally calls Victor, and he's in New York, and he's like, "Why are you calling me at 1 a.m. in the morning?" And she's like, "What?" And then she remembers, and then she hangs up on him, and fucking Victor's voice, "You hung up on me." I'm just like, oh my god. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, when that happened, I had this under my breath. I was like, "You dumb MC, what did you do? Look what happened! Look what you just did, girl."
He was like, "You hung up," and he's like, "No, I totally didn't do that." She's like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "Girl, you know you hung up. Just go, man." I was cracking up and like tearing up at the same time. Like there was moments like with Minor, I wanted to smack him. Like the whole thing with him and Kiki when they're talking about the letters on the restaurant, and then like she's like, "No, you have to tell me," and they're just like putting them together in a room. They're like so chaotic. I love it. Like that had me laughing.
I know they're too like they're very similar. They're like made out of the same clay.
Exactly. I feel like that's what makes them get along very well.
Very
You know what I mean?
energetic.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This I have like, oh my god. Like this. So this episode, what did you say it was based on? Chapter 7? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Chantel, there was 7.
Chapter 7. So we went back a
We went
chapter.
backwards a chapter from last episode to this one. I get it doesn't really matter. I feel like all this stuff, it's all happening at the same time. It's like like same shit, different day.
Yeah, I guess it makes
See?
more sense in terms to keep all this like together. I don't know.
I mean, it's interesting that they went back, but I mean, again, I guess like this kind of stuff doesn't matter what order it's in as long as it's
It still makes sense.
within the same part of the story.
Precisely, yeah. Like I think
So
they have like it doesn't matter which chapter it in. It actually really does flow together. Like if you ignore like the small stuff, the story actually does really flow together. So it's not as bad.
because it's not, I don't want to say this is like the Spark Notes version of like the game story, but it technically is.
Yeah,
You're only getting like the important stuff. So yeah, like as long as you kind of know exactly what happens, really like in order. Some parts it doesn't really matter. I mean, you need to know like what's the beginning, what's the middle, and what's the end, or well, not the end, but you know what I mean, because the story is still going on. But you at least need to know like that all of these different events are happening like at the same time, and then this next group of events is going to happen around the same time. But it doesn't really matter what order they come in as long as it makes sense.
Yeah, as long as it has like a genuine flow to it, like it doesn't matter. It's just gotta make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we went to. I like that the episodes are actually calling back to stuff that they did like in the like what was it, episode 2. So you remember the thing where MC remembers that Gavin quote unquote extorted money from the staff at Lynn's kitchen, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh hey, like are you sure you want him like are you sure is this a good idea? And he's like kind of like, what are you talking about? And he's
I saw him.
to her.
I saw you hand an envelope of money to him.
Yeah, he's like, wasn't that? And he was like, wait, what? No. And he's like explaining like, no, Gavin helped out my son, and we're really thankful, and he actually paid the medical bill. I'm glad they kept that. Like, everyone kind of
Me
like,
too.
Yeah.
My only question though, I'm like, where the hell did Gavin get this money to pay for this other kid's medical expenses?
his dad probably. Again, like I
I
feel like
guess so. I guess I never thought about it that way, but I was just kind of like, I was like, damn, dude, you're like going above and beyond. I'm like, damn, if I had that kind of money in high school, I would have
Well,
helped out a lot of
his
others.
dad's a commander, and I'm pretty
Mhm.
like if you looked at his like I have the screenshot too of like his family home. It was
It
actually
looks
like
fancy.
It's very- it was really
Yeah,
fancy.
it was a very fancy like living room. It looked like so
He
like
live
it
in
was,
a rich people house.
So you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be surprised if like his dad gave him an allowance and just didn't bother with him. Was like, here, this is X amount of money to live off of. Good luck. And that was basic. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
I guess I never thought about it that way. I was just kind of like, how the fuck did he get all this
You know,
money?
yeah, I didn't
Like,
think about it either.
how much are these expenses? Like, damn, he offered to like pay for this kid's medical expenses, and you know, everything was all good. Like, he didn't have to actually like really have to like take out a loan or something. I guess. So like, good for you, Gavin, using your money for good, spending it wisely.
But yeah, I kind of figured that he would have gotten it from his family. That's now that I'm thinking about
I mean,
it.
it's not really
Yeah.
like a question I wanted answered. It was just like a question I got while watching it. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I never thought about. I guess I don't remember that detail from the game.
Right? Yeah, I kind of like bypassed it. But now that we're talking about it, like I'm pretty sure it's his dad giving him like an allowance just to be like, here, live, bye. That's it.
Buy what you want.
Especially since in his birthday card, we do get to see like his grandmother's home, and even that is like kind of
Yeah,
fancy.
that was really nice. Like the way they're describing the home, it's like old school, but it's like really well kept. It's nice. Like it's a really big home. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like his family was well off, and again, he just did. Gavin really doesn't care about those kind of things. So you know what I mean? Like he's just a very different person. But yeah, it's like this whole episode. Besides like so they changed it. Like like Chantel was talking to us about it. Like they didn't have at the end of the episode with the recording, which I thought was like the sweetest thing ever in the game, because I remember being like, "Oh, you're so nice." Like I just had that moment, but like the recording where he's kind of talking to Minor about technically it was supposed to be the show where you're supposed to get like quite a confessions kind of a deal. Remember that? Or like stuff that you had regretted and like you're basically saying it now. And Gavin goes to talk to Minor, and he mentions the letter, and it's kind of like, well, what was in the letter? And he was like, you know what? I'm not telling you. And he does. Well, technically he does, but we don't get that in the anime. But they took it out. But they added something else that was a little different, which I thought was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
With the phone call at the end, like towards the end, like he's calling, like she's,
Yeah, here
like,
I'm
you're
highlighting
calling.
this comment. The phone call between Gavin and MC. It's so cute. Yes.
And he's
It was
sitting on
very cute.
Sparky, and he's just all smiling, and he's all soft boy, and I love it.
He looks so soft.
Dude, that whole episode, he was like giving her soft looks. And I was just like when she's talking to like the restaurant manager, like Gavin's just like casually looking at her, and I'm just like, you're soft, and I love you.
Why do you think I picked this screenshot for the background?
Every time we got like close-ups of Gavin, I'm just like, those eyes are so beautiful, man.
He's just smiling, and he's happy, and he's like chill at AF, and I'm just like, ah.
I know. And we finally got to hear what piano piece she was playing,
Yeah, we finally got to hear the piano piece.
which is really pretty. It's the piece that saved Gavin.
Dude, I'm glad they kind of. So that changed. If you guys remember how that went, apparently he got a bunch of. So I don't know if. Okay, sorry. Let me collect myself. In the game, he got jumped by a bunch of guys. He was actually stabbed multiple places
Yep.
on his body, and that's a lot of his scars as an adult. That's where he got stabbed as a teenager, and he was actually like bleeding and stuff. Like it was like really bad. So they kind of like, I guess they kind of just not touched on that in the anime, but yeah, like he was full blown like stabbed.
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
they showed like the guy with the knife, but they didn't actually like show him get stabbed. I guess you can just imply, or when we see the scars later on, I guess
Yeah,
we'll
'cause
kind of just assume like, oh, okay, like
that was from that
he
time. But yeah,
probably like got those scars maybe from similar incidents like the one we saw in the flashback.
yeah, like he's got a bunch of them, but I know some of them were from the time that he actually got jumped. Like that was told to us in the game too. Like a bunch of the scars that are there from the time he got jumped, and of course from other times they're from like missions and stuff. But yeah, like the first few that he had were from that incident, which I thought was different.
It was pretty bad because he was like, I'm gonna fucking die.
And he was ready. You know what's fucked is that as a teenager he was like, yeah, I'm gonna die. That's cool. And I'm just like, wait
Yeah.
a minute now.
It got super depressing real quick. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, when it showed him like falling, and he's kind of like, you could see on his face, he's kind of like accepting it, but then he gets that like flashback of like, no, that like there's people I need to protect. You know, I protected my mom, and I still have other people to protect. Like I can't die here.
Which
And then he
is when,
hears
of
the
course, his
music,
Evolve
and
activates.
everything. His Evolve activates, and he hears the music, and it's like it all like comes together at the right moment.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing in the game because he's just falling and he's thinking back to his mom and the way that his dad was. Like, my poor baby boy was like in his darkest times.
Yeah, he's gone through some things, guys, but you know what? He's come out better for it, and
Came out on top.
yeah, he came out on top, and you know what? We all love him for it.
Yep.
You know what got me you know what really got me was towards the end of the episode. Like, since we're talking soft boy times, they put it out there and confirmed something I've been thinking this entire time. The bracelet never had a GPS. At all. So they mentioned, she was like, so they kind of reminded me too, and I never really thought about it, but I kind of had a suspicion. So towards the end of the anime, she gets her bracelet back, and she's like, oh, hey, yeah, like, he was like, yeah, just don't lose it. And she kind of looks at him. She was like, "Wait a minute. If I didn't have the bracelet on with the GPS, then how did you find me?" He's like reminding her, like, "You're in the wind. I can find you easy." And she's like, "Wait a minute. Then what's the bracelet for?" And he goes red. He's like,
Yeah, he
doesn't
like
really
didn't say
answer.
anything.
Yeah, he didn't answer her. So it's long confirmed a suspicion that I had that he. I guess to me, I feel like that was a
I
thank you
guess
gift.
he told her that there was a GPS tracker in there to like reassure her, like, no, you'll be okay. I guess because he tells her that before she finds out he has evil, so it's kind of like
Yeah, that's true. He does. He
before she kind of
basically says-
understands what it is. So like that's kind of like his like little like run around. It's like, oh, there's a tracker in there. You're fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but I like that basically confirmed that it was like, yeah, there's no GPS in that thing. I feel like that was his thank you gift to her, though, for like all those years or something. You know what I mean? I feel like that was like a representation of him, and he just wanted her to
Or
have it.
or that's what the letter he sent her represents, without him having to say anything or like write her another letter.
So yeah, you know what I
Since
mean?
she
But,
never read the first one, the
yeah,
actual letter.
She never read the letter. She tossed it because she was like freaking out over it because of course there was like blood on it. Because Miner's a dumbass and just
Yeah,
like,
Miner's
changed out
an
the envelope.
idiot and didn't like put a different awful. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, that was so fun. First of all, that was funny and cute at the same time because Miner's kind of like, you can tell that they're close because he's kind of teasing him. Miner's teasing Gavin about the letter because he's like, "Yeah, you wrote this. How long were you freaking out over it, though? Like, let's be honest." Gavin's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna punch you." He's like, "No, we're good. I'm doing it. Nope, right, deliver the letter. I got you." And I'm
He even told him to like rewrite it and clean it up. And he's like, "Nah, this has like your taste in it."
so
it's
we
got you."
blame Miner. After all this time, let us blame Miner for this.
I know.
He meant well. He just kind of dumb.
Miner had his. What is that stupid? What was it? It was from like the quote from Fresh Prince of Bel Air, where he's like, so, his heart's in the right place, but something or other. And I was like, yeah, that's Miner. Like he's got the wrong way of doing it, but his heart's in the right place.
Maybe he just forgot, or he was too lazy.
Too lazy. That's what I believe.
Oh, Miner, but you're still the wingman.
You are the wingman. Like
he's so cute. I love him. Like I love that we get to see how energetic he is in the anime, because you never get that in the game.
Yeah.
Because you just see the sprites and stuff. It's just I like that you can like actually see him like be very loud and crazy. I guess I don't know if crazy is the right word, but very energetic.
No, get you a wingman like Miner, because that man can hype you up.
Right?
I mean, if you can't get any of the any boys that are like the main boys, get someone like Miner. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. But this episode, besides Gavin and soft boy hours and sad boy hours with him, we also got stuff from the trailer back in this episode, which was a good callback. Was it the third trailer, I think? Like the last moments.
I don't remember.
It's with Victor.
It's been weeks since. Oh yes, yeah.
With Victor, where he's talking to the investigator about looking for missing persons unknown, but we know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And something else that also a lot of people have pointed out, and we ourselves have talked about, is that the MC is suffering PTSD from that time that she was kidnapped. And Victor basically says, yeah, if we don't do this the right way, it's going to be a really bad problem. Like, we don't want it to backfire, kind of a deal.
Yeah. So he knows that he needs to be smart about it and not like trigger something that could be horrifying.
But
for
at
her.
this point, like, he didn't know, like, and remember in the game, like, at this point, like, he really didn't know it was her until it was confirmed. Like, he confirmed it later, though. I remember, like, in his chapter 10, he confirms
Chapter
it.
10, when she finally gets struck by lightning.
Which was sad boy. That made me love Victor, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was sad boy Victor hours. Yeah, that got me into being like, okay, you alright.
Just the way that
You're
Ben,
all right now, I guess, Victor. You're not such a jerk.
just the way that Ben delivered that line in chapter 10 was great.
Right,
That's
that
all
was
very
great.
heartbreaking. Did a good job, man.
Like
So
the,
I'm excited to see how
we-
that's gonna be delivered.
yeah, I'm. Oh my god, that's gonna wreck me though. Cause like, can you like imagine that scene animated?
I know, right?
And I want so first. Okay, so I'm gonna. This might be spoilers for some of you guys who have never played, or have gotten that far in the game. But there has been now with the appearance of a certain skater boy, calling back to that part of the chapter. A lot of people have been saying that he might have been the one to attack her in chapter 10.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's definitely possible.
and someone pointed this out. They're like, well, what if we see him in the anime? But I doubt it because I think they're focusing on the first chapters of the game, and I'm like, you know what? Let's not count anything out because at this point, a lot of us have had suspicions about him being the one that attacked the MC.
Yep.
I'm sure when we get like more of his cards added into the game, since he's like actually getting cards now and everything in the English server, I'm sure we're gonna see something, or maybe further on into the story, something like that might confirm
Or like
those
confirm it or not.
suspicions or something. Yeah,
Unless
like
someone
we get
else
a
has the same
we
evolve
get a
as he does.
flashback or something.
I do know one thing, but I will not say because it's kind of confirmed in the recent chapters, but I will save that for a different time. Because it does get too spoiler. Like super duper spoilery.
But yeah, I've long had my suspicions, especially in Gavin's airport date, because yes, that was him.
That was him.
So again, I wouldn't be surprised. So I don't know, like if the anime does it, that's great. I want to get a confirmation. If not, you know what, that's fine too.
I know. So anything could happen at this point. Because we've gotten everything delivered to us more earlier on than
We've anticipated, yeah. So
Yeah, and they're showing scenes that like we haven't really seen in the game.
because like even with Minor, he wasn't introduced until chapter 7.
yeah, he was until when they were like, oh yeah, Minor, oh you're here, hey, help us out, you're gonna do a story, and he's like, wait, what? And that's when he comes in. So yeah, like they brought him in early just so we can have that
So we can have the stage set up.
for that episode for Gavin, yeah. But oh man, this episode packed a lot. Of course, we got Black Swan again, and their little. That was interesting though. Like something that I noticed. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I want to know if the others are tagged this way. But apparently, they have the tattoo of Black Swan on them,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which I noticed was a real trip. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just
Certain people or like maybe they do, it's just like not always on the neck. Maybe it's like another identifier or something.
yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. And even like the Black Swan dude, he wasn't like in the game necessarily. It was like a different dude.
Yeah, I guess they're just kind of
They're
Putting-
just wanting
they're
to
putting
connect
fa-
everything.
they're putting faces to these characters you don't like actually see.
Yeah. They're making
yeah, that-
everything more connected.
That dude, like, you don't actually see him. Like, you see the girl.
But
Like
not
they
the guy.
like have a character design for her in the game, but not for the So yeah, they're just. I feel like they're just.
And then they're also foreshadowing with the evil going out of control.
Yeah.
That
So-
was not in the game either.
Okay, so I had something confirmed for me though in that part of the anime. So later on in the game, we got told that Evolve can become unstable due to either the emotional or mental state of an Evolver. But now, and this is a spoiler though, we can have it confirmed that if willed to do so, the queen can cause evolve and fluctuations within an evolver.
Haha.
I watched too many things, guys. I'm sorry. Like I really thought about it. Like no joke. Like when I was like trying to get through work, I was literally thinking about it. And I was like, when I saw that scene, like thinking back on it, I'm like, yeah, she wanted him to stop, but she caused his evolve to get out of control. So I'm thinking that maybe later, when the queen genes are more stable and are like fully active, would she have control over another's evolve to make it stop? Or you know what I mean? It's a lot to think about, but it did confirm to me that it's not just the mental or emotional state of an evolver that can cause influctuations, it's also the queen.
Yeah, like it has influence. The queen has influence over
Other evolvers.
evolvers, and yeah, how big or little control they have over it.
Yeah.
That is very true.
You know what? Something else. I don't know if it was brought up in chapter 7, but something that the anime pointed out was why Gavin left.
Yeah, that was not in the game at
That
all.
wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't in the game. So in the anime, it's like no. After he graduates, he was enlisting. In like I'm guessing he was gonna join STF, or getting trained in STF, and that's why there was blood on the letter because he fucked up during training.
Yeah,
And he was like bleeding from an injury.
yeah, I noticed that too because I was like, I don't remember him like
saying
he was
yeah,
enlisting in
exactly.
anything. I was like, okay, I guess they added that in here. But again, yeah, that does explain like where he goes after high school.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was saying last week. They just give us more information where things were like very vague, or there was absolutely no explanation, or they just completely forgot about this detail and never went back to it. And with the anime there,
they're filling in the anime is allowing itself to fill in the details, which do makes like, let's get real, it kind of does make sense. Like we know he joins STF, we know he has the training, right? Like where? So he had to have done something between the time that he left high school and by the time the MC meets him again.
Which is, it's only like a few years.
mm-hmm.
True, but he was already training before then, though.
Because like I kind of laughed when they're saying like, oh, it was so long ago, it looks the same. I'm like, you guys were in high school just like, wasn't that long ago?
Yeah, because she's like 22.
Yeah, MC's like 22. That means she like graduated only like 3 or 4 years before.
Well, think about it this way: we're thinking us though.
Or well, I mean, I feel like a lot of places you get out of high school or your secondary, you know, after when you're like becoming an adult, before your university or college time, I guess. Lots of people are out by like 17, 18. Because I know like in the UK, like when you're 16, you can either like continue going to like your high schooling or whatever, or you can just go to like a trade school. Whereas like here, you're in high school till you're like 17, 18, and then you can go to college.
So let me see.
Sorry, I'm looking through my screenshots that I took for chapter 7. Like little differences that were from the game and the anime, which they really didn't change too much. To be honest, it wasn't like last week where I was like, wait a minute.
No, yeah, it's not like last week where if you watched that video, I was literally like, they literally changed like most of like what happened.
Okay, so I kind of looked it up on like age. So they would have like, so it says the senior high school education usually starts at 16 and ends at age 18.
Yeah.
In China, so it wouldn't. Yeah, so it would have been like a 4 year different, like 4 years since the MC was over there because she would have been to be 22. So yeah,
She graduated when she was 8. It's same amount of years as like here
yeah,
between
seems like it works out.
graduating and when you're 22.
Yeah.
Because if you finish your higher education within 4 years after you graduate from high school when you're 18, you're 22. I'm saying that if you graduate within 4 years. But either way. So it hasn't been like that long.
Well, she didn't stay in the city though. If you remember, the MC actually moved away after high school. She didn't stay in the city.
Right.
Like she leaves, and it's only when the company, like remember, she left to go do school, and after she graduated, she came back home.
Take over the company.
Yeah, to take over. So yeah, she has been away from the city for a while. In like a weird technicality.
Then I must be really boring because I've just stayed here the entire time with my higher education and everything. Same room, same house, same place. When there's changes, it's like I guess it's more organic. But I also took 7 years to graduate from college, so what do I know? So what do your screenshots tell you?
Let's see.
Like, is there any because I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, it's been a long time since and I keep saying this every single time we talk, but it's been a long time since I've read these first chapters, so I barely, I have to go back and reread everything.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute for
a lot
of us.
I don't remember a lot of these details, so if I just sound, really dumb, or, I don't remember what happened, that's why. Because I don't.
Yeah.
I remember, the really important things that stick out.
Yeah, I went through them just because I was curious. I was like, let's see if there's any differences. There's just slight differences that really don't make a difference in my opinion, but one of them was Minor was actually there with MC and Gavin when they were investigating.
Uh-huh.
And instead of having the phone call with Minor and him telling him about the letter, he tells her in the classroom, he's like, whoopsies, what letter?
Yeah, he slips up and he was like, oh yeah, the letter. And she's like, how did you know that? He was like, I don't? Yeah, I know nothing of this letter. What is this letter? And she's like, really, dude? And even Gavin's like, Minor told you he's dead. And I'm like, oh no.
He fucked up.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Minor got an earful from Gavin. It was like, bro, why?
Yeah. And we got to see, in the game, they explain how Gavin and Minor are together, and Gavin's just like, I'm gonna beat you up if you don't shut up right now. So we were kind of robbed with that at first, but then they made it up with high school Gavin and Minor,
which is hilarious.
I really do want to see present Gavin and Minor talking to each other though, so I hope we do get that soon.
I know, because Gavin is ruthless when it comes to Minor. It's hilarious. Minor ain't afraid though. He can take it.
Yeah, Minor has no fear of God at this point. I feel like, you know what I mean? His interactions with Gavin, you realize that he has no fear. I wonder where that confidence comes from. Oh my god.
He's got no fucks to give.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I just realized something. Sorry. We literally have seen all 4 boys. Well, we're going to see Lucien in the next episode. And we see baby Lucien. And I'm not ready, guys. I'm not ready.
I know.
It's that there's 2 chapters that I dread being animated. This one is one of them. Because it was sad boy hours in that chapter. When I was reading it, I was like, oh my god, Lucien, don't. Just don't. I like you, don't do this. And I knew it was gonna fuck me up, and it did. And I was like, alright. And now I'm gonna see it animated. It's gonna do it all over again. I'm not ready for this chapter. I'm not ready for the other Lucien chapter I know it's gonna get animated and it's gonna break me.
Don't tell me. because I was a Lucian stan back then. And
Well, like I have so many like thoughts and feelings about like that one episode. Like I know it's gonna happen, and I'm
it's
like
definitely gonna happen.
I'm mentally preparing myself to defend Lucian too, because there's just like so many things to be said.
Oh, I'm sure once all that stuff starts happening, there's gonna be some mad people. We're gonna have to
I'm pretty
Shut them up.
sure.
calm everyone down. Which we're gonna be doing that today as well, after we're done talking about this episode.
Yeah, there's some few things that you guys should know, but Lucian. I'm not ready, man. But the Chinese VAs have said in their interviews, because they were being really vague, and they asked them, like, are we going to see Ares? Are we going to see Helios? And they're like, I don't know.
We're gonna see them. We're gonna see them.
That's a yes, and I'm so excited.
I
We're
know,
gonna
they
see
were
them.
they were trying to be very vague. They were like, do you guys want us to spoil everything for you? You guys have to find out.
See, when you ask a question like that to a question that's asked of you, it's like you're basically saying yes.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that though, because all right, I'm just gonna put it out there, you guys. When the inevitable, okay, so this is good. I don't care if it's spoilery or not. Like everyone at this point, I guess, knows about Lucian, but I feel like technically his quote unquote betrayal. Like I feel like everyone's mad at him because at that point, like I remember like feeling this way myself. Like when it happened in that one Lucian chapter, I felt so betrayed. I was like, I've trusted you. It wasn't like not just the betrayal of the MC, but the betrayal of the player. You know what I mean? Like we went through this journey with you, and then we get this, and it's like I felt so conflicted. I was like, no, there's more to the story. Of course, there's more to the story. I tell this to everybody I talk to, is that Lucian is a very complex character. It is not, although he himself has a very black and white view of things, he himself is not that way. There's so many things we don't know about what drives Lucian, what his motivations are, or why he does the things that he does. He's a complex character. I respect his character. I know a lot of people are going to be hurt later for like various reasons that I won't discuss, but it's just like one of those things. Like I understand, and I felt that way too, but I respect his character. And I'm telling you guys right now, if I see any kind of disrespect to Lucian and his VA, I'm going to be really mad at you guys.
I know. That's the one thing that kind of scares me. If people are like anime onlys and they're getting to know Lucian and they see this, it kind of terrifies me because Bill is such a sweetheart. And I've been seeing like lately, especially online, we've been seeing people be so ruthless with the VAs and calling them out for a character that's like an antagonist. It's like, dude, please
Like, that
separate
has-
the character from the voice actor, please. Like
Yeah, like
I
that
know.
has nothing to do with it, you guys. Like
What
their
the fuck?
characters have nothing to do with who they are as people. And I'm telling you right, I'm warning everybody, should you listen to this right now. I understand where you're coming from, I do. But Bill Rogers does not deserve any kind of undue hate, because we do not hate on other Mr. Love players. He is part of our community. He plays this game. He is one of us. We don't do that to each other.
Yep. And if y'all say something bad about the sweetest man on this earth, I will fight y'all, man.
Oh, I'll let you have it. Like, no joke. Like, Bill is the sweetest person. He loves Lucian more than anybody. Like, I tell him all the time, like, you are the biggest Lucian stan. Like, dude, everyone can fight me on it. Like, no.
He's also a very much a Gavin stan, which I find hilarious.
Which is really funny, because he even said that to Joe. He was like, much protect. And I'm like, oh my god, man. I love you.
And that just goes for anybody, because it's not just there's discourse in the VA anime community, like, guys, sir, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. We've probably all seen this by now, and this has been happening like every so often when different things have been announced. Like, without even hearing what this character sounds like in English or what have you, it's like, why must you, like,
we're seeing this happen
feel
right
the
now.
need Why must you feel the need to message this person and tell them that they're awful or whatever? Like, I think Joe said it really well on Twitter. He was like, "We don't make the choices for the characters. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, I have none of them have any say in what the characters are saying or their. I mean, to an extent, maybe yes, but in terms of like story wise or anything like that, or like their characterization of the character, like that's not.
They're fictional characters for
Yeah,
crying out loud. It's not like
you wouldn't go to any like big, huge mainstream celebrity, which I'm sure people still do, but I mean they're too famous to even check their DMs or whatever. But I'm sure like why like you wouldn't do that to some big name star, right? Because you know it's not real. Like you know they're just playing a character. But when it comes to like I don't know why it's like this for like anime and video games specifically. Like when it comes to like just I guess because you can't see them, you don't see their actual face, so I guess it's like it's not going to hurt as much, you know. That's why people tend to troll more often online and anything, because you know you're also behind a mask. You're behind an avatar or whatever. Like no one can see you, so like it's okay to be that way. But no, it's not. Like everyone, they still have feelings. There's still people behind the microphone.
I know. Like we're seeing this right now with the English voice cast of Rent-A Girl, and it's so stupid. I didn't expect to see any of that until like the girl that voices one of the characters.
Yeah, like
tweeted
it's
it.
on. Yeah, it's all on. It's like on Twitter.
It's
You
all
guys
over.
know better. Like I'm just gonna say this right now. Like I don't care how old you are. You know better. You know better than to be rude to a person you haven't met. You don't personally know. We know You have to learn, or you should know by now, to differentiate between a person IRL and who they're voicing. It's two different people. I don't do it. You shouldn't do it. They're still people, you guys. They have feelings and all that stuff, and you know better. Like that. Think about it this way: you doing that to them is internet bullying. You want to be a part of that? You go on ahead, but do not expect others to treat you with respect. Should you be seen disrespecting someone else? Like that's not. Y'all know
Like,
better.
There's a difference between there's a difference between being an asshole and like constructive criticism. Like okay, you don't have to like every single casting choice in the world ever. Like you know, you can't please everybody. Like that's a given. But you can constructively give your opinion as to why you don't like the casting choice or what have you without being an asshole about it. But you know there's also constructive criticism, and then there's just like not liking that person because they play a character that you don't like, which is the dumbest shit ever. Like
It's like, would you do this to the Japanese VAs? That's like, I'm sure the reason why they do this more with the English VAs is because they're more accessible and they're more like
exactly.
online versus like over there, their culture is like more private and stuff.
Yeah, there's no way you can DM like more than half the Japanese Seiyu.
And even then, like,
even then, it's like, well, how are they gonna? Some of them probably, you know, they don't speak English. They're not gonna understand what you're trying to tell them anyway.
that, and then sometimes, like, I'm just scared you guys are gonna shoo away Port Bill, which that's not what we want.
Yeah, like straight, like yeah. Let this be a warning to you. I don't care. Like, don't. If I see it on my Twitter and I see you being an ass to him, because like, again, what Lucian does is not Bill's fault, and he loves the character way more than you do. If I see it, I'm going to block you. I will report you. Like, do not. Like, let's not do that.
And honestly, playing a character that's so complex like that is so fun.
Yep, all the
Like,
VAs have said that.
Like, who would want to play someone with like a mischievous dark past or like a villain or something? Like being the villain is fun. Like being the main hero and everything is fun too, but like there's nothing like, you know, being real sinister and evil just, you know, just because you can. Like not in real life obviously, but playing a character, I mean, you do put part of yourself into the character. That's a given. That's, you know, what every actor on the stage, film, television, voice acting is going to tell you, like, you always have to put like a part of yourself into every character you play, otherwise it's not going to come off as genuine. And you know, otherwise it's going to show that you don't actually care.
Yeah.
Although I do suggest one thing, you guys, when that episode airs, y'all need to like show him some love because he's watching the anime too, you guys, and I'm pretty sure he's looking back on this like, I did this, and like sad boy hours. Like again, he loves this character more than you do, and I know for a fact I'm gonna be showing him some love and being like, bro, like, you alive? Are you okay? Like, you emotionally okay?
Lucian protecting. I can't speak right now. Protection squad activate.
Right. I will defend Gavin, and I may not like Lucian romantically, but I'll defend him because one, that bitch is interesting, and two, Bill Rogers is part of our community as a gamer, so yeah, I'm on it.
Yes, I'm gonna highlight this comment right here. These people are full on clowns for sure. They need to get their clown licenses right here, right now. It's pathetic. They're just a voice, not the creators. And even then, you know, harassing the creators and stuff, or the writers and everything. Like, okay, so yeah, you know, maybe it's not what you expected in the fanfic in your head that you're writing, that all these characters have to be a certain way or whatever. Like, just because it doesn't match your own head canons and whatever you make up in your head. But again, you can be constructive, you know, constructive criticism. I really do not mind, you know, constructive criticism on, you know, my writing, my videos, whatever, what have you, my acting, I guess, when I would do acting. But I mean, again, you have to make, you know, get your message across in a professional and understandable way without sounding like a jerk. Because then, you know, the person you're constructively criticizing or whatever isn't going to take it seriously, or they're going to take it the wrong way, that you're just being, you know, mean for the sake of being mean, and, you know, nobody wants to be treated that way.
Mm-hmm. But
So it's I feel like a lot of these people like feel like they're just the top tier anime elitists because they know everything, and if it doesn't sound exactly like it does in Japanese or whatever, with casting or, you know, whatever.
in that case, you need more hobbies.
It's
So like you, nah.
Like, who died and made you like the number one anime expert that everyone has to please with their casting choices and everything? You know, again, I understand. Like, there are some casting choices that I'm kind of like about with, like, you know, certain series when they get announced in English, but I don't like. I still give it a chance because I haven't heard it yet. So, like, who am I to say that it sucks when I haven't even heard it?
Yeah, and then it's like, it's not our language, so how would we know if it's good or not?
Unless you are fluent in that language that's originally in, you really have no say as to what's good or not. Because every language has different, you know, intonations and literary jokes or grammar jokes, you know.
Yeah, it's not going to translate the same way over here as it does over there, you guys. It's like way different, but as you can tell, we have very strong feelings.
And that goes for anything, not just anime, but other original stuff, you know, dramas, movies, books, whatever, in other languages. I mean, you know, again, unless you understand the culture and the way that the original language works, it's not always going to translate directly. I mean, you know, you don't see us doing the same thing when something gets dubbed over in another language from English. But maybe that's also because the proliferation of American media, like, everyone is very familiar with American media, so it's a little bit different, I guess. But even so,
The moral of the story today is don't be an asshole to Bill Rogers when that Lucian episode comes out. Like, be nice.
Please be nice.
And then check on his well-being because he loves Lucian. And again, Gotta check up on our fam, guys. We gotta.
I cannot wait. This is why I also want it to be dubbed in English, please.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I got to see that animated, yes.
That's
Like,
why I
with
tweeted
their-
out at Crunchyroll, man.
Yeah,
The other day.
every time you guys get the chance, again, politely and concisely,
Just
please
ask
let them
Crunchyroll.
know. Please let Crunchyroll know that you want an English dub for Mr. Love.
Yes. I let them know when they were announcing their dubs, and I was like, can you guys please consider, Mr. Love? The
Yeah, just
original
like
voice, please and
consider
thank
it, you guys, because Sean Chiplock already said he'd be down to do it, and Bill, of course, he'd do it.
I mean, of course, Sean's gonna be into it. Damn, he was announced in 2 of the things they fucking announced. Which, by the way, congrats, Sean. I'm excited. Can't wait for season 2 of ReZero. And God of High School. I've been wanting to see that too.
Man, I'm just looking forward to the next few episodes. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna bring. It's gonna be great.
It's about to be stabby to the heart times.
Oh yeah, it's all fun and games now, my children, but it's about to be sad boy hours.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, like that's just all this it's gonna be. Just action shit and sad shit.
Yep.
Yeah. We're at that point in the if we're in this point in the anime where they're showing those chapters, yeah, we've hit sad boy hours and it's gonna get intense from here.
There's no going back now.
Yep, it's too late. You're invested now.
Right.
Oh, but speaking of, I told Joe that the episode wrecked me, and he was like, "I'm sorry it did. I had nothing to do with it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know that it fucking wrecked me."
It's like, we just had to let you know because it's still your boy.
Because it's still your boy.
I guess it's like, well, future prediction of things to come. If we do get a dub, you'll be ready.
Right, you know exactly what happened. Like, during the new chapters, we were telling him on Twitter, they're like, "Bro, the new Gavin chapters fucking wrecked us." He's like, "I'm so sorry."
I know. He's like, I didn't even know they were out, but I'm so sorry.
I bet though, like when we tell them that, they secretly relish in it. Like, yes,
I know Joe
I
does.
made them feel feelings. I made them cry. See, this is what my brother used to say when we would do plays. If we can make the audience laugh or cry or vomit, we've done a good job. It's because one time some kid like puked in the audience.
Oh no!
I don't know why, but they saw that as like a good thing. Like, they made this kid feel something so much. At least that's how they took it. But yeah, if you can make them cry or laugh or feel something, you know you've done your job correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh man.
is there anything else you guys want to discuss about the episode before we go into the other thing?
I've said my feelings. Unless you want me to gush about Gavin again, but no, I think we're good.
The only thing that they,
Plenty of time to gush about everyone.
the only thing that they slightly changed was like the stuff happening with the sniper with Gavin in the air.
Oh
It's actually on the ground. And MC did not get pushed out in the game, but the anime did it to make it
that
more
was
dramatic.
a pretty badass moment. You see the bullet
It
just
was.
moved his head so fat, like damn.
It was not because you can hear it in the game, but we don't see it. But seeing it's like, my God.
And in case everyone's wondering how he dodged that, Gavin can feel air currents.
Yeah.
His evolve allows him to feel different
kinda-
air currents.
He can kind of control the wind, or feel the wind, so
Any change in the direction from where his natural wind is blowing, he's like, nope.
Plus, I'm sure that's not the first time he's dodged a bullet like that, so it's probably like
Yeah.
the 7,000th time, I assume. So yeah, he's used to that shit.
He doesn't dodge all of them though.
Well,
Right.
yeah,
He has
mean,
he has the
can't
bullet
dodge-
scars.
can't dodge out. Well, maybe they were from when he first started dodging them. You don't know.
That's true. Okay,
That
that's
is
valid.
true.
And this is probably the 7,000th time. Once you get used to how to do something, muscle memory.
Gavin
I
is
don't know, that's what I like to think. Those scars are just reminders of how not to fuck up.
Which is probably what he tells himself.
That's what I would tell myself.
He attack and he protect.
He protect, he attack, he can feel the wind on his back. I don't know. I tried to make it fit.
Oh man.
But I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
So, kind of going back to what we were talking about a little bit ago. All right, so I believe it was like, I don't know, our first live stream, right? When we discussed all the dumb bullshit discourse going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
About Mr. Disdain.
recently we got in some clarification, which honestly I don't think we really needed, but because I feel like you kind of just assume.
Based on his tweets from a long time ago.
But I guess he felt the need to just clarify so people will stop fucking asking and shit.
I guess it's really awkward, especially because it was on live stream, and even then I was like, "Oh, why did you guys ask that?" You know?
Yeah, that's fucking weird, guys. Don't do that. I linked the tweet in the description of the live stream, so if you guys want to go check it out, basically,
I
give me a
have
sec here.
the link to the Twitch clip too.
Give me a sec here.
I don't know if you want to show so they can hear instead.
I'll just read out what it is.
That way they can hear it from his own self.
Give me a sec while I get the fucking shit. Okay.
I'll send it in the...
So,
there you go.
basically, I guess, people are mentioning that shit in the stream that he was a part of. It was a Beastars stream.
Yep.
So basically, this is the statement: is due to contractual. This is from his actual mouth. Due to contractual issues, there are some projects that I am not legally allowed to talk about. I like you guys. It's nothing bad. So sometimes you will see me receive things from people who really like a game, but I'm sorry, I cannot talk about it. End quote.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you click on the video, you'll see his reaction. He's kind of like, "Oh, this is awkward, but I guess I kind of have to address it right now." Especially because the person paid for him to say something, and it's like, awkward.
Yeah, when people send you that shit, it's like, oh, shit.
But because you can see, like, his face, like, the minute it changes so quick, and he's like, "Ooh, about the..."
But basically, I don't know how else to, I mean, I feel like that quote is pretty self-explanatory. He can't talk about it.
Ben cannot legally talk about Mr. Love, and he cannot even say Mr. Love.
He couldn't say the name of the game.
He had to say there is a game out there that people really, really love that I'm in that I cannot legally talk about. He's like, it's nothing bad, but just know that I just cannot legally talk about this.
And like, clearly that's not the same for the other VAs. I mean, not everyone's contract is the same.
I want to say maybe it's because he's like in so many things.
That's what I was gonna say. I assume it's because he's in so many things
right now, and it's probably
he's gonna dedicate his discussions and time to talking about only about certain projects that, let's face it, guys, are gonna like appeal to the masses, because that's what people want to hear about. I'm not saying no one wants to hear about Mr. Love. I mean, obviously we're doing our live streams and everything, whatever, like we want to, but I'm talking about the masses. What makes the most money?
Mm-hmm.
What's gonna pay enough money in advertising and whatever, and junkets and interviews and blah blah blah.
He can't even say any Victor lines. Someone had, which again, another thing that was just like, okay, that's smart, but also please, nobody do this, because it's got to be awkward for Ben and kind of like, I don't know if this is okay, but basically, if you guys have heard Ben and BNA, it's the same voice as Victor, right? That's his Victor voice.
Basically, yeah.
So somebody paid money for him to say "I won't say for you" a second time in the character's voice from BNA, and I was like, okay, that's smart. That's a nice little loophole
Like
there.
a
But
good-
at the same
yeah,
time,
it's like a smart way around it, but also it's kind of like that's fucking weird, man. I like.
It's also like, I don't know, that just doesn't, it also didn't sit right with me, if that makes sense, especially after hearing that he can't legally say that, you know? It's just,
Right.
I don't know.
Kind of. It's
didn't
like
sit well.
it's like he kind of took a risk doing that because, yeah, like that person paid for him to say the line or whatever. But it's kind of like, I mean, he's probably never gonna do that again.
Yeah. Even though he can
just please
easily
be
say,
mindful that he is like. I'm not saying that the other VAs don't have projects, but Ben's name is out there. Like he's like when you drop his name, like you know he's done a lot of stuff. Like don't make it awkward for them, please. Like just like I understand, like I really do, like, but just no, like let's. Again, there's still like we talked about earlier. There's still people. He can't talk about it. He can't talk about it. But I hope this like quiets everyone down with how angry they were for the interview.
It's a thing where like, and this is not just like a unique thing for this. Like there are so many people who have said like, you know, how come you can't to any VA, like how come you haven't talked about this? Like I know you're in this or whatever. And like, well, at the time I was under contract. I wasn't allowed to say anything because if I did, that would break contract, and that's bad.
but for Ben, he just cannot talk about Mr. Love whatsoever.
And I'm sure Mr. Love isn't the only thing he can't talk about.
Yeah, like after he said that, I kind of was like thinking about it. I was like, oh shit, there's definitely a few other shows that I can think of that he will not speak of and hasn't like acknowledged. Not that he doesn't want to, it's just he cannot.
He just hasn't or can't.
Well, yeah, because, you know, if word gets out that he is talking about it and being vocal about it, and, you know, they find out and you know, they're like, well, you know, you kind of have it in your contract that you can't talk about this and this and this. It's probably like, well, then it's like, well, you broke the contract, so kind of null and void now. And I'm sure it's not the game people that are probably putting that
Probably his
restriction.
agency.
Probably his agency putting the restrictions on there. And you know, that's nothing new. That's show business. That's how it works.
So please don't say.
So
Hate.
it just, you know,
No hate to Ben, please.
again, it's a case by case basis, I feel like.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Maybe
Like, I
that's the
get it.
moral of our
I
story. Just be nice.
Yeah, I get the frustration of like the Victor stands, but also please like be respectful of the man. Poor.
I mean, because I'm sure if you had like a one-on-one meeting with him, you know, like you're in lines in the future when we can go back to conventions and shit. I'm sure if you talk to him one-on-one about it, that's probably okay.
I don't know. I feel like I think that might be a little bit. I don't know. Like, you know, it's like
Would that
real
also be a
difficult.
loophole? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but I also
kinda
feel like people
difficult.
shouldn't push it either. Like, be mindful of the fact that other people might like be recording him, and if like you know what I mean, like
That's true, very true.
we just gotta be mindful. Like, I get it, I really do, but
So if anything, just to be on the safe side, if you guys ever meet Ben, just don't. Like, it sucks to say this, but just don't
to
bring
hold it
any.
in.
Don't bring any Victor merch or anything.
I guess you'll just have to keep it to yourself.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll sign it, but you just can't talk about it or anything. And I don't know. It's
I'm
a tough
sh-
situation.
I'm sure if things change and like the anime gets a dub, I'm sure then maybe there might be like a something different. I don't know. Maybe the contract would.
Because he couldn't even say,
Change.
like, Mr. Love or
But-
Victor.
But again, that's with the agency, not with the people making
Yeah.
Mr. Love. So
They usually have like the people that are with their agencies there, so I don't know. It's a toughie.
I mean, you know, at least you get the other VAs
Yeah, it's just
being able
Ben.
to discuss it. I mean,
Yeah.
Alex Lee has it on his damn bio
Yeah.
on his
It's
Twitter, so
just
that's
for the
cool.
time being, you guys don't. It's kind of like just we gotta take Ben out of the equation, unfortunately.
Yeah, just for right now until things are like settled on his end. But like again, like overall, like not just for the guys who are on Mr. Love, just like in general, like to any voice actor or to people in general, be nice, be respectful. Like unless you know them personally, like that's a different thing. Like just be kind to each other, you know.
Next time, somebody wants to say shit about Ben, I will fight y'all, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if seeing discourse like that shit on Twitter again, oh my god, I like at that point I'm not gonna stay fucking silent.
I know that was.
I'm just like
Because-
mentally preparing
because-
myself for next week. That's
because
basically what I'm doing.
I mean I remember like when that happened, like he wasn't even barely on Twitter at all, because he never really is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
well, I'm not saying it to be mean, but someone in the furry community kind of ruined it for him with some of the stuff that they were like tweeting at him. Like there was like some stuff that
Like he
He'll
was
get
fine up until
tweeted-
that day.
like he'll get tweeted at like some really. So you guys have to understand, and I'm gonna say this because no one else will. Like I'm pretty sure you guys will, but I'm gonna say it. The furry community has been. I'm sorry, and and this goes for people in general, but some people take it too far, and I'm pretty sure someone in maybe it was part of the gaming community or part of that community, but they took it too far, and Ben basically pulled himself out of Twitter because of it. So the only time you'll catch him is if he's like commenting on somebody's stuff or he's like retweeting like fan art of stuff. But other than that, he very, very rarely hardly posts because people are like, they have no self-control and they'll like do or say stuff to him that makes him uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, no, we ain't doing this.
So it's basically like up to us. I don't want to say us good Samaritans, but you know.
I know it
you know what I
sucks
mean?
because I feel like we have to
It's
police
like
people.
well, yeah, it's like I feel like well, if I don't say anything, no one else is gonna say anything, and you know I know this is wrong, and I'm not gonna shit. I hit my microphone. I'm not gonna stand by and you know let someone who you know isn't on there to defend themselves all the time. Because again, he a busy person.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
has more projects than
Like
we know about.
like
so.
it's just like if it doesn't sit right with me, I'm gonna call someone out
Yeah.
in a respectful way.
I'm warning everybody. I won't
In
be
a-
respectful
in
next
a-
week.
I mean, to an extent, a respectful. I mean, I'll start off being respectful, but if you know, if the person's gonna come clap back at me and be an asshole, then okay, I can just be a fucking asshole to you too. You know, I deal with assholes every single day, so you know, it's nothing new to me.
Yeah, same. Like, I'm just giving everybody a fair warning. If I see anything, like, to Bill over, like, for stuff that Lucian did, like, don't. Like, do not. I genuinely like this man. He's a good person. He's part of our community. Just don't. I'm warning you guys straight up right now. Just don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see people in the chat. Okay, some of you guys didn't know this. Yeah, it's like we discussed this. I guess you guys were in it for the first live stream. It's some dumb bullshit drama discourse.
Basically, the gist of it, whenever the anniversary videos dropped for Mr. Love, first off, Joe has said in his stream that was a big whoopsie on the Mr. Love team, which we weren't supposed to get those interviews in the first place at all because they didn't communicate with the VAs or
Yeah,
like
so
the
to-
rest of the team either.
There was no agreement or notice.
Yeah, to kind of clarify what happened, like, let's take it back. There was a tweet on the Mr. Love account saying, hey, we're interviewing the English voice cast. Do you have your questions? I brought it up to Joe during one of his Twitch streams, and he's like, yeah, no, that's not a thing because they haven't talked to us. And we're like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, there was no communication. Only later, like way later, did they actually go ahead and like interview the guys. However, Ben Diskin was not a part of the first year anniversary of Mr. Love Queen's Choice. He was not. Sean, Bill, and Joe were there, not Ben. The Victor fans lost their mind. Like, well, why the hell isn't he there? And they were saying some really messed up shit about him on the Discord. And I know because I went in there that day and I was seeing people say shit to him or about him on the Discord and on Twitter, and that was not warranted.
I can imagine.
Like, I know I was pissed. His schedule is busy, you guys. He probably couldn't make it. And again, because now that we know that his contract doesn't allow him to talk about Mr.
Yeah, he
Love,
probably wasn't even able to like
to
do
go.
it at all.
He wasn't even able to defend himself. That's like the sucky part too. And then I always tell this to Mia, and it's like I really wish that the Mr. Love team would have put something out, like a disclaimer, something that they could say, "Hey, just a fair warning, Ben can't make it for legal reasons."
Yeah, due to other reasons, like just to basically say, "Hey, one, it's on us because we didn't say that we were going to, like, we didn't communicate with them about it, and then second of all, others may have legal reasons not to be here, so we're sorry about that."
You don't even have to say they legally cannot do. You just say like, well, they are not available for us to do an interview.
Yeah, they weren't available. You know what I mean? Like, but that's on them.
Which technically they did, but guess where they put it at? In the description of their YouTube videos.
Which was the biggest mistake they could have done.
And it's like, no one, like, honestly speaking, does anybody ever check the descriptions? I don't think so.
I do.
But
that's just me. But I also make sure that in every one of my videos, if I have links in the description, I tell you that there's links in the description.
Yeah.
Which there are links in the description of this stream.
And even then, like, for me personally, sometimes I'll check the description, but not really, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like, I don't, like, there's definitely people like that aren't going to check the description.
But,
and it's like, at the same time, it's like, if you don't tell people, like, hey, check the description for information, there's something important there. But at the same time, like I've been saying, I just wish they would have tweeted it out where they posted, basically where they started this shit. They should have communicated with the fans too properly instead of just like hit delete, not address it, move on like it never happened. It's like, no, we have screenshots, we know it happened.
Because I mean you can do that with, you know, a misspelling, or, you know, you didn't mean to, you know, tweet something or whatever. But when it's something like that, you kind of need to address it, because people are gonna call you out on it and be like, what happened? Like, why haven't you acknowledged that tweet? Like, I saw the tweet.
Yeah, because none of the Mr. Love peoples knew what Joe said, and it's like, which is fair. Like, I don't think most of the Mr. Love people are gonna like join into Joe's stream and be like, "Hey, what's up? Hi, Joe. How you doing?" You know, unless you really love Gavin and you really love Joe as a voice actor. Which is also why I tweeted out like, "Hey, like, you guys, just to let you know, Joe said that this wasn't a thing." And a lot of Mr. Love fans were very confused by my tweet. They were like, "But the devs tweeted it out. What do you mean?" I'm like,
and now it's deleted.
Yep.
But I don't think I don't remember if we mentioned this detail when we discussed this previously. But I also remember the fucking person who decided to just assume and make shit up. Assume that, like, well, because Ben Diskin's not in the interviews, that means he automatically doesn't care about it.
Oh, yeah, I remember we discussed that. Yes, we did.
But I don't remember if we discussed her telling international fans who don't know or aren't very familiar with the English VAs that was the case. And because I remember seeing some of these people who don't play the English server in the fucking comments being like, oh, really? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Like, they just believed this person outright.
And oh my gosh, I
don't think we discussed that in the last.
No, we didn't discuss that part. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't remember that, but I do remember that.
But I remember distinctly seeing replies from people who, again, don't play the English server but are in the Mr. Love fandom, replying to this fucking person saying all that shit and just taking it at face value because that was the only person who was saying something.
And I'm pretty sure you guys can probably see tweets, like those nasty tweets still there. And even like on the YouTube comments and stuff, like, because there's people in there asking, but what about Ben? Where's Ben? I'm so disappointed in Ben. It's like, it's not his fault. And even then, like, Ben didn't have to say anything. And I feel like I understood. I was like, oh, he probably just couldn't make it because of what Joe said. He just probably couldn't. But the fact that there was somebody out there just like making it their mission to say, oh, like, no, Ben, the reason why he's not here is just because he hates the character, blah, blah.
That's totally what that means.
And it's like, why would you do this? And after Danny told us about like how it was on Discord, I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of see that, because the Discord also is like a, not to shit on the Mr. Love devs and anything, but it's a gigantic mess in the Discord there. It always is. I think it's way worse than it is over on Twitter, to be honest. Which is why I avoid the Discord for Mr. Love, because it's there's always something going on.
Something going on in there, and I'm like, nope. I'm here for the emotes. That's all I want in my life.
Because even with like the English, like with the English stuff, they were spreading misinformation, and it's like, my God. Not the devs, but like the people in the Discord were like, oh, we're not gonna get an English dub at all, so don't vote for it. It's like, no, please stop.
It's because again, I feel like when you guys interact with like the international fans and everything, when also, you know, some of these people, English isn't their first language, so, you know, you explaining something to them in English and just trying to make it so, of course they're gonna take it like that's the truth. You know, you're explaining it to them in a language that's not their native. You know, they. I feel like when you read something in another language that's like really heavily explains like a lot of detail, sometimes you really can't understand the true intention of what someone is saying, which is really a disservice to the person that's trying to understand what's being said. But also, you know, if you're the one making all this shit up and reassuring these people like, oh no, that's the reason why, you know, everybody's agreeing that this is the reason why, then of course they're gonna believe you. Because why would they question you? You know, you quote unquote know more about it than what they do, because they don't play the English server. But it's just like, how can you like sit there and like reply to all of these other people and try to perpetuate misinformation so heavily that you want it to be made so much that once Ben came back to Twitter, basically he wrote out like a 35 tweet thread having to basically like defend himself, and like I was so fucking upset that he had to do this, because that's totally not fair. He shouldn't have to explain himself that way. Which then also just kind of really irks me in the wrong way. Because then, of course, you know, he had to also basically say, in that live stream clip and whatever, you know, I read the thing that he said, basically kind of have to really actually give the actual reason. And, you know, I bet he actually didn't want to have to say that. But it's gotten to the point where it's like, why? Might as well just say why, because then maybe people will stop bugging me about it. Sorry, I'm going on like a rant, but it really just like really irritates me that you have the time to like, again, try to perpetuate this thing that you made up when you don't even know if it's true or not. Something so like mean-spirited. Because my thing is like, if he didn't like being in it, then he wouldn't be in it. That's the bottom line. If someone doesn't want to be a part of something, they would stop being a part of it. Unless they want to, you know, torture themselves even further for, you know, no reason. Or unless they have a good reason to stay, if it's something they don't want to do. Anyway, that was me ranting. I agree. A lot of fandoms, I just try to stay out of it. Again, that's one of the reasons why I left Bandom, as I could not take people's shit about bands and band members and people leaving and creative differences and stuff like that. And you know, when it comes to stuff like that, you know, those they're not fictional characters, you know, they're real people with real lives. So I don't want to.
All I know is that next week y'all better check in on Bill and like see if he's okay.
But anyway, unless there's any shit, I hit my mic again. I keep hitting my mic. Unless there's any more updates regarding that, we're not going to discuss it again. Because that's not really what we're here to do. We're here to just discuss the show and the game and what we love about it and what's so great about it. So unless we really feel the need to speak about stuff like this again, you know, just be kind, be a nice person. You know, before you go and say something and perpetuate anything, do your research. You know, don't add fuel to the fire when there doesn't need to be. Especially if you don't have all your facts straight, or if, you know, you're still kind of skeptical about what's being said or going on. And don't be a dick. That's like my number one rule. Just don't be an asshole.
Alright, just be kind. Be nice.
Leave the VAs out of it. They are human too. You know, if you switched it around, you probably wouldn't want people harassing you all the time about.
Yeah,
dumb
like, think
shit
of it
like
that
that.
way. Like, if you wouldn't want that to happen to you, don't do it to other people. But no, like, legit, I'm gonna, like, next week, I'm legit gonna check on him, because I'm like, I asked him too, like, are you gonna watch the anime? He's like, I'm watching the anime, and I'm like, oh no.
I'm sure it's gonna make him love all the characters even more than he already
Right?
does.
I'm pretty sure. So I'm like, I'm just gonna, like, casually drop it, like, next week too, be like, hey, you alive? You good? I did it
Did
the
you
last
enjoy
time
hips?
too. Like during the episode, I was like, "Hey, you good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I'm like, "Okay." Oh, it was during the chapters when the game hit. I even asked him, I was like, "Hey, are you good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm hanging in there." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." You know what I mean? Because he's part of our community
Yeah.
too. So I'm like, I'm checking in on everybody.
I will highlight this comment, and this will be the last we'll discuss about this. People are going to do the research before they make a statement that can leave a big impact. Exactly. Think before you do or say. All you gotta do. But if I do see people being dicks about anything, regarding like the VAs and everything, I'm not gonna hold back. Again, I'll be respectful at the beginning, you know, just for out of common courtesy. But if people are gonna be a dick to me, then well, you know what? Claws are coming out. Because there's so many better things you can do with your time than being an asshole. But anyway, guys, so please in the chat, what else you guys want us to talk about real quick before we decide to call it a night? Anything good, nothing bad.
Oh, Mia,
No more bad things. Yes, go
I
ahead.
just remembered something. I don't know if I told you this, but my daughter's figured out about the Gavin stand that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, she figures it can like come apart now, but luckily she just wants the picture. She's just like, he's so cute, and I'm like, yeah, but he's mine.
That's adorable.
Like
That's
she
cute.
saw, like she finally got her eyes on him, and she's like, oh, he's so cute, and I'm like, oh no,
It's another thing for her to steal.
because she already tried. Like she tried stealing that new Gavin charm that I got, the one with him and his ears. I mean, she was all over it. Like overall, this episode was great. I loved every minute of it. Gavin was like so soft, and like just all the things that he does, and
The episode and Gavin moments. Yes, we'll discuss them again if you want. I'm just kidding.
like I'll tell you straight out, I loved this episode. Like this was
a good episode.
a good episode. Not only for the story and the plot that we got, but also for like anime onlys, they got to see this side of Gavin for the first time, like what makes him him, and besides looking like he can kick your ass and he can kick your ass, he's really just soft boy inside, and he just wants what's best for the MC, and he wants to be there for her moments and kind of give back to her what he feels that she gave to him. And that if that doesn't like warm your heart on the inside, are we watching the same anime? Are we playing the same game?
So that's why I really liked last week's episode as well. And I'm not sure if you guys have watched the video that we made for Chantal's channel about last episode. Well, I'll be very brief since this is about episode 5. But just in case you guys didn't hear or anything, like I feel very much the same way, like what you just said about last week's episode. Not only because it was a Kiro-centered episode, of course, but I like that you got to see a different side of Kiro that you wouldn't see.
Yeah, you got to see something
otherwise.
so different. He's not just happy-go-lucky all the time. Like there's a side to Kiro that we haven't seen, and like for anime onlys, and of course for those of us who played the game, like to see it animated, and of course for you guys to see it for the first time. I mean, that does things to the heart. Like I appreciated seeing it animated for the first time. Like just like reading it was different, and I'm pretty sure like for Mia, who like loves Kiro, like this was like a whole different level.
Oh, it definitely was, which is why if we see any glimpses of Helios, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Oh, dude,
I
I'm gonna
bet.
I will lose my absolute shit, and I can't wait to discuss that when or if that actually happens. So I'm crossing my fingers so hard that we get Helios, because
I'm sure we will.
I'm telling you right now.
I'm sure if we don't, people will riot in the street.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be. Do not be surprised if we hit. What is it? Chapter 13 within these 12 episodes. Like with the speed that they're going and like how condensed, like the plot is. Like you know what I mean? Like we're getting the finer points of the plot, but still giving the guys their screen time with the anime and with the short amount of episodes we're getting. Do not be surprised if we get Ares and Helios. You guys like mentally prepare yourselves.
We gonna see it, man.
I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm ready, dude. Give me Ares. I already know he's coming. Like I already know he's like on the way, and I'm just like, this is gonna break my heart. But we're doing this. Let's do it.
I prepare my ovaries for Helios.
And yeah, the rest of you prepare your ovaries, just like in general, because Helios.
My God, man. I might reread the Thorns date for Helios. Actually, that shit was good.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like just prepare yourself, you guys. Like these episodes are good. I think after Lucian is gonna be that Victor chapter. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be
done. I know
that
that'll be interesting, because I remember when I read that chapter, like them talking about like the haunted house shit or whatever, like the weird game show thing. I was like, how the fuck is that supposed to work? Like, I'm curious to see like what the interpretation of that is.
I am too. Like, I'm telling you guys, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm also ready to see Gavin in his STF uniform, because that was quality.
Let's highlight some comments here. Gavin stole my heart more in the episode. That his blush made me fangirl a lot.
Yes,
I'm sure it did.
That was so cute. Like he just got embarrassed, and I'm like, that's exactly how I kind of pictured it animated, and it works so well.
Gavin soft baby, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Especially with the ginkgo bracelet. It's so cute. Yeah, it looks kind of different than what I thought it would look like.
Yeah, because originally I just thought it was like the bracelet and the charm was hanging off.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Ginkgo leaf is now like
it's part of the clasp.
Yeah, it's a clasp, which is really cute. And again, just that moment where he's just like, she's like figuring it out. She's like, wait a minute, this isn't a GPS. And he's just like,
But my thing with that too, I was like, I thought it was just like one with the charm, because I feel like that would be harder to fall off than the way it is with like the clasp. Well, whatever.
I know, right?
It's very cute. It's a very pretty bracelet.
It's a really pretty bracelet. It's really cute. But again, that moment itself, like that got me. I was just like, I laughed, and then I laughed harder after seeing Gavin like try and like, he didn't explain himself, but he was like, yeah, change the subject. And I'm like, oh my God.
Can't wait to see Helios. Yeah, that's me right now. Trying to control myself. Can't wait to see Gavin in sexy military outfit.
Hell yeah. I will never shut up about that, by the way. Like, just FYI.
Despite Aries being Aries, my god, it's smooth. Hello, Dylan. He just wants to say hi. Don't have any thoughts on the show because I haven't watched it, but I hope you're doing well. Oh, I am. Just a little bit, you know. Hanging in there till Friday when I have my stupid root canal, but other than that, I'm doing well. About y'all, but
I'm doing good.
yeah, doing pretty good, pretty well. Let's see. When I first played Victor, it was last place, and when I saw Chapter 10, he tried to steal Gavin's place, but Gavin is first. Full Gavin stan. Damn, Rhythm Emerald, you definitely a Gavin stan.
I feel you.
If even Victor couldn't push him out of the top spot for you.
Telling you, man.
Victor's second place, but Gavin will always be Gavin. I love
You
him
know,
so much.
for me, Gavin and Victor are pretty tied at this point. For like second place, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna beat Kiro. He too much ingrained inside of my brain and my heart, and also he won my husbando bracket. So I feel like if I stopped having him be my best boy, I would be betraying that, and I'm not gonna do that.
It's so funny because I saw over on Twitter how they were like, were Gavin stands really Gavin stands at first? Because I keep seeing, you know, that they used to be stands of like different other characters. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. Just Gavin just likes to steal us away.
You know, I feel like we start off like, I don't know, I think it was different for me, mainly because like I didn't really latch on to anybody, and I think I got to know every one of these guys, but I think Chapter 7's basically like Gavin like totally claimed it, like just that moment. Like I always had like in my head that, you know, he was like kind of, he's tough boy and he doesn't really let anybody in, but then we got to see more of a side to him that we didn't get to see, and like that won me over, like especially the end of the chapter where he's talking to Minor, and I'm just like, you're so sweet and you're awkward, and I kind of live for you now. Like that's great. Like ever since that chapter I was like, nope, this is it.
See, I'm like the opposite. Like for me, it like, at least with Mr. Love, it like, I feel like it's different for every game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just the same. Because with Obey Me, it was the same. It's just like, oh, Lucifer, yeah, I like him. He's hot and is daddy. But I think with Mr. Love, it was more like, I really liked just the way you meet Kiro for the first time, and then I kept getting like his cards, and once I learned how to like unlock the dates and everything, I'm like, oh no, I'm sold. And he's just so cute, and he's an idol. I just got a thing for idol boys, man. If they sing or act, that's like bonus points. Maybe because I used to do acting and stuff. I'm just. Let's see. I was so happy, but I was like, well, he's mine. LOL. Victor is second in my heart. Claim your man. Because I feel like it's the same with like everything. Sometimes it's kind of like, well, you can like him, but he's mine, really. among friends and family and everything. But you know, I don't mind sharing boys with y'all. Because if I don't share with people, like who am I going to talk to about my favorite?
I know, right? Who are we going to talk to about this?
We can die together, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's why we're the Tokia crew.
Right?
Oh man.
So I don't mind sharing Kiro with y'all. But you just gotta know he's my husbando. He won my husbando bracket. We are married. That's it. And once I got that wedding card, it was official. But I actually have 3 of the wedding cards, so maybe it's official for all 3 of them. I don't know.
You know what's actually really funny is that I got Gavin's and I got Victor's wedding karmas. So I think it's really funny considering.
We got our boys, man.
I know, I was pretty, and I got 2 copies of Kuro's too. So, hey, it just tells me it's meant to be. At first I fell for Victor, but then Kuro stole my heart. Yep.
That's how it be sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you like this one person, and then
Really
all of a
do
sudden
like
the
that
game.
sometimes.
All of a sudden,
Throws
they
you
come
in.
behind you and then smack. you're no longer a stan of that character. It's someone else.
Wait, so did they come behind you and just smack you? Smack you behind you?
It's
I
it's
mean,
like
maybe-
that meme, man. I can't remember exactly what meme. It's like one of those memes.
I feel like it's more difficult when you can't choose between more than one character. Like, you have to really think about it. That, for me, is when it gets really hard to choose.
You gotta marinate
It's
sometimes
like,
and
I
think
don't,
about it.
yeah, sometimes it's like, I don't know what, like, which qualities are the ones I like the most out of all of these characters that I really like. But again, sometimes it's really easy. Sometimes I'm like, no, you know what? They're cute. I like their style or their personality already. And it just kind of happens, but yeah, you're right. Sometimes you gotta marinate a little bit.
It's like that meme where, like where you see that guy coming from behind you, like secretly, and there's just like this dude, like just smiling at the camera. I don't know if you know what meme I'm talking about.
Oh, are you talking about like the Jason Momoa and Henry Cavill meme?
I think so. That's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's like that. Yeah, sometimes.
I should make a meme out of that later.
Getting the wedding cards were just sweet. It's funny how I got Gavin first, then Victor. Oh, that's nice. Gavin did come behind me. He was up.
You see?
Sorry, I'm laughing because that's my dirty mind.
I was gonna say you were thinking
Keep an eye
dirty.
out.
That's why you laughed. I know you.
Because I am a 12-year-old child that has dirty thoughts all the time and laughs at words like that. We all do it. It's fine.
It's okay. That's why we're all friends.
Yeah, it's our
Yeah,
friends.
exactly. I'm like, that's why we're
I
friends.
mean, hey, I would let any of my favorite boys come behind me and smack me in the ass. So you know what? That's fine. I'm not ashamed. Especially if they wear gloves. Oh hell yeah! Go ahead and do it. Even better. Anyway, TMI. But I'm really enjoying what we're getting so far. I can't believe we're already on episode 5.
I know we're about to be at episode 6 next week.
Which means we'll be at the halfway point
halfway
of the
done.
12 episode mark. Yeah,
It's crazy.
the story's going by alarmingly like really quick. Like they're really keeping in to the point of, hey, we have plot going on, guys, and this is what I'm glad they're keeping it. I'm glad that again that we've talked about this before about condensing the story, like about the small things, and like they're really focusing on the main plot of the story, which I'm grateful for. So again, just mentally prepare yourselves for Aries and Helios, and maybe our skater boy might show up. We don't know anymore. Like let's just keep
I
it. Let's
know.
all keep it open
Like,
mind.
Yeah, we might get that character as well. A little Easter egg, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
anything
maybe that'll
can
be an Easter egg. Let it be an Easter
Maybe,
egg.
maybe it's like an Easter egg, or it's gonna be like a hint to a to be continued kind of thing, like a
Which,
Mhm.
are you right?
cliffhanger, maybe. I don't know. Because I imagine they could just put him at the very end of the last episode, like
Well, didn't
showing up or something, and then it ending and being like, "What the hell?"
well didn't she meet him in the
In one of the
before
chapters?
earlier in the early before the break of I usually refer I love how like my brain just like refers to it as like the good times and like the beginning of the bad times. So it's like the break before chapter 14. She meets him chapter 13?
Something like that. Yeah, when she meets him
I'm
on
around
the,
there.
when she meets him
Before
on the
the
bus.
Yeah, exactly. It's before the break, and
And you're just kind of like, who the fuck is this?
let him
Why does
show up.
why does this
Let
guy
him.
also have a voice?
He must be important.
And, it's up in the air.
I mean, with the way they're going, he might show up.
Yeah, I'm betting on it. Like, let it be like an Easter egg, or looks like a cliffhanger thing. Where like, but I'm again
Where
like,
they're trying to hint at like a possibly season 2. We'll see.
yeah, exactly. Like, let's it's up in the air. Let's
I
see
hope
what
so.
happens.
I really hope so.
Again, I'm keeping an open mind. It's anything goes at this point. Like, they're really condensing the story, and if I remember correctly, again before the break, she does meet him
Mm-hmm.
before it happens. So again, like, let's just, and of course we do meet. Well, no, not technically, not until a little bit later, but we do technically meet Helios and Ares, and in the first half of the game, let's just keep an open mind, because it's gonna, if episode 6 is doing what I think it's gonna do, we're hitting the more intense part of the chapters, or like really gonna hit us hard. So let's just all prepare ourselves.
Prepare your brains, your hearts,
hearts.
and your ovaries, ladies
And gents.
and gents. Women don't have to have ovaries. You don't have to be a woman to have ovaries. Rather,
We're ready, man. We're ready.
we are ready. Just prepare your whole entire bodies, everyone.
Yeah, you're not
Regardless of what you got.
anime only. You're not ready, man.
Bring on the pain, man.
You're not ready. I know you're not, because I played the game and I'm not ready, man. Like, we've talked about this before. We're like seeing it animated for the first time. Like, oh,
I know, it's
it
like
hits you different, guys. It hits different.
that shit be hitting different. Like that TikTok meme, anyway. But yeah, guys, so just remember, any chance you get, please make sure you tell Crunchyroll you want a dub for Mr. Love. Again, they've been announcing there's all these dubs coming, so
Right? Just
again,
like,
they
should,
can do
like,
it.
show the love to Mr. Love. The English VAs would be like willing to do it. Trust me, they would.
They're hungry for work and
They
more
got nothing better to do.
opportunities to,
They're more
do
than
what
willing.
they do. Do what they do best.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Seeing them animated does hit different. That it's so cool and beautiful at the same time. It is, right? Like, I think that's what's so cool about this stuff, when you see like webtoons or mobile games and stuff, like getting anime adaptations, because it's like, oh, I can finally see them like actually moving and talking. And
Yeah, we're seeing the scene. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's the difference between having to play the game and seeing it, quote unquote, live for the very first time. Like, we're really, like, I know I say we say anime only is a lot, but the truth is, like, we're seeing this for the very first time all over again. Like, it's different having to see this. Like, chapter 7 is hit different for me seeing it in episode 5, because I'm seeing it animated for the first time. I'm seeing the movements. I'm seeing Gavin smiling and like having that soft look in his eyes, rather than just the one screen of him being on the screen for just a moment of time, and like not really seeing his emotions change. Whereas we just get the description. Like, it's gonna hit differently. We're all seeing it. Like, really, the reality is we're all seeing it together for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? Like, it's different. Like, the anime did amazing, like bringing not just Gavin, of course, because this is his centered episode, but the anime did well to bring every single one of these characters to life, like hitting the details of their facial expressions, their mannerisms that we can only imagine from the game. Like, they did an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to the episodes as they come, and it's an experience for all of us.
it's really exciting to get to see them just see them moving is like euphoric.
It is like it is.
And hearing the music come together and seeing the
Scene play out.
scenery and the scenes play out and everything, it's like, because again you have what you imagine in your head when you're just reading the descriptions in the game.
Yeah.
And just hearing it, of course the voices really do help, especially with Mr. Love, which is why I really appreciate that. Even when they don't have English voices, it's just Japanese or with Miss Messenger just Korean voices. It's still like, I like that we still get like some kind of what the hell is the word? I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. Not sensation, but I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but you're still getting like that feeling that like it's still painting the picture for you with like a certain sense, like you're with visual or audible or whatever. But I appreciate when everything comes together and you get to see it, actually moving in tandem with each other or coming together in tandem with each other. Because it's a mobile game, like if this were like a Switch game or like a PS4 game or something like that, like an RPG or something, that it would be different. But this is like, I don't know,
Our imaginations can only take us so far, and now the anime is really giving us the visual to like see it, and like we don't have to like our imagination doesn't have to be like as active because we're seeing it, and it's like coming at us like visually. So you know what I mean? Like it's different.
The experience itself is just pleasant that I sometimes want to cry. I know, right? It's like it's crazy. Kudos to Mappa, they nailed the anime so well. I agree, they do so good with their adaptations. Which is why I'm glad they are taking over for the final season for Attack on Titan, so. Up until now, we were all used our imaginations that we all just went with it, but now it's literally evolving, no pun intended. That's a good one,
right?
though.
Yeah, like we
That's a
really
good one,
did
though.
use our imaginations, and now we're like seeing it, and it's just like it's different from what I know this chapter in itself was different from how I pictured it in my head.
Me too.
So this just like you know what I mean? It's like it just hit differently seeing it animated, and I'm pretty sure like the next episodes with our sad boy hours are gonna hit us in the feels in ways I can't imagine right now.
It just came to life, man. And then with the music playing in the background and everything, it's just
it set it off. I'm telling you.
That was a good pun, though. We like puns in this house.
We do.
We accept puns in this fandom.
Because what are we without the puns?
Exactly. They're very punderful. So keep them coming.
This episode was so good. I loved it so much. Like I was laughing and I was like tearing up, and it was great. I loved it. I loved it for the story. I loved for the little backgrounds we get. We get a better understanding of Gavin and all that stuff, and especially for like anime only. It's like I hope I said this on Tumblr too. On Tumblr too. I'm like, I hope for anime only is that you love him as much as I do. Like this got you to love him at least a little bit, because this shows who he is. Like no matter how he, like, how do I say this to you guys? No matter what situation the MC is in, he's always willing to lend a hand. No questions asked. Nothing in it for himself. Always willing to go the extra mile, even if it means sacrificing himself. He's a good man at heart, and he has earned every right to be loved and appreciated, and I hope you guys love him just as much as I do.
Exactly.
Also, those end cards, man.
Dude,
I know they're really
This
They're
is
really,
fan service, all right? This is beautiful fan service. Let's get real. These end cards are fan service.
they're pulling out all the stops, man.
Like,
I
if you haven't
mean-
seen the different like end cards for this episode for Gavin, they have one of him like giving the MC or the player a drink, and then another one has him playing guitar, and I'm like, I live for both of it because
I know.
yes,
The
He just
one
looks
with the
so pretty.
guitar.
yes, he looks so pretty. If someone who is like really good at drawing can like draw him and Josija together playing the guitar, I'd love you forever.
Oh, that's right. Joe knows how to play the guitar.
Joe can play musical instruments, and the guitar is one of them. So if you guys like know anybody, like just please, I beg you, I want to see that in my life. I will legit tweet that at Joe. I'm not afraid to tweet at that man anything Gavin related, and he knows it.
That's why he didn't question when you won the print either.
Right? I
knows.
was so pissed. I was like, man, it could have been another print. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but still, way to call me out.
You're like, I didn't even get to say.
I
mean,
know, right? I didn't
yeah,
even tell
but-
anybody.
but
and
I
everyone
mean-
in the thing was like, "Oh yeah, Gavin." And I'm like, bro,
But I mean, Danny, what print were you gonna pick though?
the Gavin print because he had handcuffs. Because
Well,
he had handcuffs.
then,
This is
see?
the point, though.
that's probably that's why he didn't question it. That's why he just teased you instead.
I know, right? That jerkwad.
Speaking of prints, Sean is getting a Kiro print made so he can sign them and sell them. By the way, if you guys did not know.
Bill needs one.
And as soon as like that is like a thing, I will tweet out the link and everything because y'all know I'm gonna buy one.
I know.
Said I would buy 100, but I'm not gonna buy 100. I'm just exaggerating a little bit. I'd buy 50.
Dude,
That's
I should probably suggest to Bill that he should get a Lucian print because you know how many people would be all over that?
I know.
Like him included, probably.
But yeah,
Oh, I just love the end cards, man, and the fact that the Japanese fans voted. They had a whole poll going on Twitter, which I don't even know what like the other options were because I can't read Japanese. But maybe if I look back and see if I can Google
for the
translate it.
Japanese-
it's like the
which
treat.
one was the guitar one was the no, that was on the Chinese server.
Yeah.
The guitar one was for the Chinese server, and I think the drink was the Japanese server, right?
Yeah. And that's what won. They had 3 other more options.
Well, either way, he looked amazing.
He looked really
and
cute.
Right, he looked so cute. Yes, I saved those pictures by the way because
Me too.
I'm me and I have a bunch of Gavin pictures. Don't judge me.
Is that like all your screenshots? Is just Mr. Love screenshots?
Yes, like today, but I deleted them because I post like on Twitter and like on Tumblr. Like
Yeah.
my main
Mm.
account for like Mr. Love anything is on Tumblr. So like anything like anime related or like other random stuff for Mr. Love, like I'll tweet it there or I'll post it there. Is what I mainly do now. And then of course on Twitter I just retweet or like fan art and other stuff. Has been my goal. Has been like today alone has been me like literally like I'm literally Gavin's hype person today. Like I've hyped his ass up. Like no joke.
You really have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the one with Gavin and the guitar, man. I can't get over it because
I
he's
can't
just
get
in his
over it.
room.
He's so comfy and he's just like yeah, and he's like into it, and I'm just like I love you.
It reminded me so much of like his Chinese VA. Apparently, I don't know if this is true, if it wasn't like in the ASMR or whatever, but you do get to hear Gavin play guitar. And then his Chinese VA like did like this whole like little video. You can just hear him like humming and playing the guitar, and everyone's like, "It's Gavin playing the guitar." And everyone's like losing their crap. I'm gonna need Joe to do that too, please, and thank you.
Yes, please. I was thinking the same thing. Like, let him do that again. That's why I want a picture of like them side by side, like playing a guitar each. Like, give me that in my life because that would be awesome.
Man, speaking of the ASMRs, basically we have to buy them now if y'all want to listen to if you guys want to listen to them.
I know.
We can't like the person who was uploading all of the ASMRs had to take him down.
Yeah, because people were like, not necessarily bullying her, but like telling her like, "Hey, these are paid content. Why are you uploading them?" And it's like, shh. Some of us can't afford these right now.
I know, right?
Well,
Some of
and
us can afford to spend that much.
sometimes it's like I kind of want to listen to it so before I like decide
Buy
if I
it.
want to buy it.
Because sometimes you're like, "Oh, that
And
was cute," but
sometimes the previews like kind of mislead you
mm-hmm.
because you only get what like a 30-second preview.
Yeah, it's only for 30 seconds.
Sometimes
At
I'm like,
best.
that one was okay.
Yeah.
It's like I want to test drive the car before I buy it. I want to get an entire drive in before I decide to commit to spending money on it.
Right?
Oh no, I have bought all of Gavin's ASMRs. I have no shame.
It's just like, imagine buying the Victor one where he's just cleaning your ears. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to pay.
a lot of Victor's is him just cleaning you,
Oh,
washing
Victor.
cleaning your hair, cleaning your shirt.
To be fair, all the boys at
Ears.
this point have messed with our hairs in the ASMRs.
Kiro hasn't. He hasn't touched your hair yet.
That might be his next one then.
I fucking hope so, man.
Because they've all taken care of us when we're sick, and then they've all touched our hair.
I mean, Kiro's given like a massage. That one's really nice.
Dude, okay, so I'm gonna drop this on you guys, and I'm so sorry. But the new ASMRs that hit the Chinese server. Oh, we're in for it, you guys. You have no idea what's coming to you guys. Like at all. Like, okay, so there's you mentioned massage. Speaking of massages, there is
Oh no.
a new ASMR where the MC is giving Victor a massage.
Oh no.
Let me tell you right now. I'm gonna say it out there. MC totally got it, and I'm so proud of her. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way, man.
Senor Bendiskin, we are sorry.
I'm so
R.I.P.
sorry. I'm gonna say this right now, sir. I'm so sorry for the the noises you're gonna have to make because
Oh my fucking god.
someone told me what happened in that ASMR because they're part of that community in that side of the world. And like, bro, I need to show you this, and I'm like, show me what? And they did, and I'm like, oh my god, man, oh no.
Not to mention Lucian's birthday one. He
Bruh.
makes some interesting noises, and that's coming soon in the English server.
My god.
We're not ready, you guys. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now that the newer cards that hit with the new cycle of Mr. Love, we're no longer PG, man. We're not.
We
I'm just letting you know right
we getting in the risque
It's getting spicy.
territory.
I'm letting you know right now. I've got those, those Valentine's Day cards that we showed you guys a while back. Yeah, I've read those dates, and they spicy.
Oh my god, the Kiro one. Oh, chef's kiss. My god, he locked the door to make sure nobody came in.
Dude, I read Victor's and I read Gavin's, and they were gold. I'm telling you.
They implied so hard. It's like, thank you for the food.
Implication my ass. They're basically letting us know, like, hey, yeah, we ain't PG anymore, homie. I'm like, I appreciate you. I think you.
We're at the point in each of these relationships where we ain't just making out.
We
We
get
have-
real
we-
intimate.
I was gonna say we're more knowledgeable than what we were.
Confirm, maybe not confirmed fully, but implied lays. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not like you know how
No.
Voltage and Soulmare sometimes will, like, depending on the game, you know how sometimes they will straight out tell you no, they're banging.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This game gives you the implication, however, you know for a damn fact when you're reading these that you're like, nope, they went the extra mile. We know exactly what happened. And you know what?
Right.
That's okay too because I appreciate it. I'm telling you, we're not ready, you guys.
You know, if guys can have weird dating sims and shit like that where, it's just like explicitly said, we can too. You know?
We deserve it, man.
women are also sexual beings. It's basically what I'm trying to say.
We need it too, man.
We ain't innocent. I for damn sure ain't innocent. So I was speaking for myself. I'm I'm an adult woman in her mid to late 20s. I know what I want and need. And sometimes fan fiction just doesn't cut it. Sometimes you gotta hear things. And we don't really have too much of that kind of audio kind of stuff in English.
Yeah, I really don't, but
So
I'm looking forward to this next hit.
unless you count those weird fucking ASMR shit on YouTube, which I don't because it's fucking weird. I like ASMR, but some of those I'm like, okay, that's a little too heavy for me. You're not a famous VA. I don't want to hear you. But I'm glad this what we're in for in terms of like the Mr. Love ASMR is more like adult.
I'm telling you, like, if we get those cards, I'm just gonna point this out there right now. I'm so sorry, you guys, for things that you're probably gonna have to voice and do, and you have no idea what's coming at you, except for Bill, who's probably seen this stuff already, because again, he's part of our community,
I know.
so he has a better knowledge of what's coming at him. The rest of you do not, and I am so sorry for the scenarios you're having to act out.
I know it's awkward, but I mean, it's a job.
It's a job. You make money.
You have to kind of become comfortable with that kind of stuff because you never know what's gonna come your way.
And you have to get over the sheep, Joe. I'm sorry.
Oh, Joe.
He's still
His
not
poor
over that.
heart. His poor heart's not gonna be able to.
I feel so bad for him. Like every time like I hear the ASMRs or like the new chapters or like the romantic like dates he has to like voice, a part of me is like, this is so great because one I love Gavin and I love the dates because he's a sweetheart. But another part of me having quote unquote like now that we kind of like know Joe, it's like hilarious now because a part of me is like, Gavin, I love you, and another part of me is like, Joe, you poor bastard. Like how embarrassed were you in the studio this time? Like this is what I want to know. I think I made a joke about it too.
I feel like it's more embarrassing because it's like you're by yourself, having to like read it, and act it out when there's no one to talk to. Because you're just in front of a microphone. Like it's kind of weird when there's not another person there.
But he also said it was like some like the lines are cheesy or whatever, and it kind of makes him like, oh my god, why? I think it's just
I can't
really
believe
funny.
I just said that.
I just think it's really funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my differentiations. Like a part of me is just like, I love you, Gavin. Another part of me is just like, Joe, this is hilarious. Like, sucks to be you, but good job.
Thanks for the food, Joe.
I know, right? Like, what was it, that date with Gavin and the MC where he like does up her hair with the little strawberry the hair tie thing, which is super cute. I even tweeted at Joe, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is your reaction to everything. No. I remember tweeting him that it was like, he liked it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was, you felt that one. But, you know what I mean? Like, it was really fun. Like, I feel sorry for the rest of the guys because they have no idea. And I'm pretty sure Bill in the back of his mind's like, I got this. I'm pretty sure he's more prepared than the rest of them.
If that was me, I would be like kind of excited. Gotta get to show my acting chops,
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm looking forward to how they're gonna handle it and how it's gonna be like worded and like the new chapters. Someone from the Chinese server kind of sent my way one of like the new like when we interact with Gavin again after like the quote unquote the second season of the game. And I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh my god, I really look forward to seeing how Joe's gonna voice that because like reading it hit me a certain way and I'm like, I need to hear them say the lines. I need to hear like all of them. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a different thing for all of us when that second season hits the English server.
Because reading it is different than like actually hearing it. It just hits so differently.
It does. It hits so hard.
So
But those are
excited.
my right. I'm excited. I look forward to so many things, but like I'm telling you, I can hype Gavin all day, but that's not what we're
I
here
know.
for. I'm like, that's not what we're here for today. I mean, technically, but no.
Right?
Exactly.
Until our Mr. Love podcast episode.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I don't even know when we're gonna do that because I don't know if y'all want to wait for like a certain chapter or you just want to wait for the anime to be over.
Oh man, if we wait for the anime to be over, we're gonna be talking for like until tomorrow.
We're gonna be talking forever. Like, there's so many things. Like, I know I've been like, there are like so many things in the game specifically that I want to talk about because me and like others in the fandom have been kind of like disputing this and like we're kind of like going like head to head. Like, not in a bad way. It's more like I understand that some things in the game get lost in translation when it hits
Mhm.
our server, but of course there's like just a whole lot of stuff that we can talk about like in the game by itself. Like, there's so many things to hit, and we haven't even technically hit the end of the first season of the
Yeah.
game. Technically,
It's probably gonna be a while till we do an actual podcast episode of it. By the way, speaking of the podcast, I'm in the process of getting the podcast episodes uploaded to a site called Anchor, which is a podcast website. It's free that you can use, and it also distributes your podcast on various other platforms like Spotify. Once I get all of the previous episodes uploaded and everything, I'm going to make a tweet where you guys can go ahead and listen to all the episodes, not only on our YouTube channel, but on Spotify and everything else. And by the time that happens, the next episode, the first one that's going to be put to on Anchor, is like an Anchor, the first one that's not an old episode, will definitely be able to get sponsored for that as well. We'll see if we can get some sponsorships with that. But just so y'all know. And it's free, so, it's easy to get it. Plus, it'll get us in touch with other people and everything, so, be on the lookout for that. I'll be updating everything once I get all the previous episodes uploaded to Anchor. Just thought I would mention that. So look forward to good things to come, guys.
Mm-hmm. We might need to make it into like 3 parts or something. Or
Oh God.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm
when
telling
it
you, like,
happens. Because there's like a lot to discuss and dive into.
there's a lot of stuff to like kind of go through, especially like in the game. Like, I've literally have kept a tally of like so many things I could talk about. Like, there's so many questions that I have that aren't answered yet, and stuff like dispute. I know this. We talked about it before with Lucian and his evolve. Like, there's something that I've been wanting to talk about the fandom with concerning that, and then concerning I mentioned to Chantel about the Kiro theory that I had about his evolve.
Mm-hmm. That you did.
Was one like I just again like I think about this stuff though.
Oh, I'm curious to hear that.
Lots of exciting stuff to do, man. Just not enough time.
I know, right? There's like not enough time for that.
Oh, speaking of the podcast and everything, yeah, I just got an email that says our podcast is now available on another platform, another website where you can listen to podcasts.
Yay.
So we get in there, guys. But again, once I get everything sorted out with that, we'll definitely be tweeting out the links and everything.
But I think that about covers it.
I think so as well. I think we're pretty much good to go.
We are.
We'll definitely be seeing you guys next week. on
For sure.
Chantal's channel. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk
I know.
because I'm also I have another disappointment next Wednesday. So we'll see. If I'm there, I'm there. If not, I mean, we'll be streaming again. So
Mm-hmm.
but I got a lot of stuff to get taken care of.
Mentally
even-
prepare yourselves for next
I even
Wednesday.
I even need to get my wisdom teeth taken out. So
Oh no.
that'll be fun. But I'll update you guys on everything going on with that on Twitter. But anything else you guys want to say before we head out?
Prepare yourselves mentally for next week.
Next week.
Just mentally prepare yourselves, you guys. Like, I'm not ready for this episode because I remember the chapter and I was like, oh no.
Catch me at my funeral, man.
Right? Just like leave the flowers on my grave. I knew you well.
I'll dig your grave next to mine.
Right? And we're just like, this is how it happened. This was the episode. And they're like, what? This is how it happened.
We
And
gotta
also
we gotta put screenshots from the episode on your grave.
Right? This was the scene. Also, check up on Bill to see if he's okay, because again, no one loves Lucian more than he does, and he's seeing the anime too. So check up on him next week and be like, hey, have you seen the episode? Are you good? Because I know I am. I'm just going to be like, hey, you good? We're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well then, guys, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Please go ahead and share this link once again so people can go back and listen to the entire stream at a later time. Once we're done streaming, you can always come back to my channel and listen to our past streams about the Mr. Love episodes. And again, go ahead and head over to Chantal's channel next week for our episode 6 review
And Sad Boy Hours,
and Sad Boy Hours.
which is what I'll be calling it the entire time.
If you guys want to follow us individually on Twitter, our links are in the description of the stream. And we also have a podcast together. So, you guys, that's not in the description though. I forgot to put that in there. But in any of the other videos, I do have a link to the podcast Twitter and channel, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe and follow as well. We're going to be putting out a new episode for this month, towards the end of the month, probably, on Miraculous Season 3. So, get that rewatched if you already haven't watched it. And make sure to leave questions about that on our podcast Twitter if you guys are curious and want to hear us answer any of your questions about it. But other than that, hope you guys are having a good rest of your night. And yeah, as always, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you guys in the next stream and video. So see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.